Nothing says Halloween like June 20th.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Jason.
And I'm Jules.
And
we doing Spookies. On tonight's episode of Spook Fest 2024, we are watching a movie seldom thought of.
I was searching for it last night on the internet, and there was some Reddit threads about how the first 20 minutes are one of the best short horror films ever made.
I hated actually watching her now.
Jill Sholin from Cutting Class?
Yeah, I hated it. But I think overall, it's kind of weird, kind of dumb, kind of stupid, but I kind of like it.
When a stranger calls back, not when a stranger calls your house or you on your phone.
Mm-hmm.
It's when they call back.
Yeah, you weren't there, so he called back.
Yeah.
And he got you. I like the tagline for this. Terror is twice as chilling the second time around.
You know the other tagline? Made for TV.
Mm-hmm.
But Showtime, so there's boobs.
Good fake boobs. I loved it.
I had no idea there was going to be boobs.
I didn't understand what was going on in that club, but I liked it.
Yeah. You want to go there? You like the ventriloquism act?
You know where this was filmed?
Downtown Alberta.
Damn, Vancouver. The killer in here is played by actor Gene Lithgow. No relation to John Lithgow.
It's so cold. Creeped into the crevices.
Yeah, that's my friend.
For a long time. We've known each other a long time.
This film was dedicated to the actor Tony Beckley, who played the villain in the original. Carol Kane, Charles Durning, and Cheryl Wilson are the only actors to reprise their roles from the previous film.
Who's Cheryl Wilson?
That's a good question. It's a very good question.
Do you have an answer?
Cheryl Wilson plays a character called Mrs. Schifrin. Mrs. Schifrin, in the credits, and in actuality, is the wife of the doctor at the beginning.
So she was also in the first one?
Well, according to IMDb, the cast for the first movie, she's listed uncredited as Mrs. Schifrin. The schoolgirl outfit that Julia is wearing in the opening scene is based on the outfit that Jeanette Christman was wearing when she was murdered back in the 50s. As the original movie was based on the Babysitter and the Man Upstairs urban legend.
But so there is a real murder this is based on?
The original movie was based on the folklore legend, which is based on a real murder.
Okay. With
Jeanette Christman. She was a 13-year-old who was babysitting, and one night she got offered a gig. The kids were already asleep. The parents just wanted to go play cards. And so the kid was there. And they even, because they live in a rural area, they said if anybody's at the door, turn on the porch light so you can see who they are. And the dad loaded a shotgun and put it next to the door.
Good dad.
Said in case you need that.
Yeah.
Right? And when the parents came, they called from the game. There was no answer. They assumed the girl had fallen asleep. When they got home, they saw like a wooden horse, like a sawhorse. You used to put board on and saw it.
Okay.
By a window.
It's pitching like a Trojan horse.
Uh-huh. And the porch light was on.
Uh-huh.
And when they went in, they found the girl dead on the floor and a bunch of blood. She was strangled.
Yeah.
So yeah, the original movie was based on this, and this movie's opening was based on the original movie. Because the director of the original is the director of this one.
Same guy.
Same guy.
He also made a short film before When a Stranger Calls. That's the same storyline, but none of the people.
Is that what you wanted?
No.
Well, what do you want?
Your blood all over me.
And they were going to make a third one.
What? And what do you have information about it?
Well, Carol Kane said she didn't want to do it because her character was actually killed in the beginning.
Okay.
And that probably is, right, some sort of catalyst for whatever happens thereafter. And they were like, yeah, you know what? Let's not do that at all. Jason's going to have to hit me with that synopsis.
Do you want any sparkling water on your ears or on your shirt?
Mm.
Are you sure?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. When a stranger calls back. When local babysitter Julie Jens, Jill Sholin, Julie Jens, eh?
Yeah.
Picks up a last-minute gig watching two kids already fast asleep, what seems like a routine op quickly dovetails into a game of cat and mouse one-upsmanship after a stranger appears at the front door and relentlessly tries to goad his way into the house. When disaster finally strikes and the stranger's intentions are laid to bear, Julie manages to barely escape, but is left shook to her core and hangs up her babysitting spurs for good. 5 years pass, and Julie has never forgotten that night, mostly because someone has been entering her apartment and moving shit around to mess with her. After the police are of no help, a seasoned babysitter and expert on surviving murderous strangers with a penchant for calling, Jill Johnson, Carol Kane, swoops in to help Julie face and ultimately conquer her tormentor with the help of a retired cop that previously dealt with strangers with a penchant for calling, and all-around broken-down, walking clogged artery John Clifford, Charles Durning. I thought he was still alive.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I don't know why I would have thought that. He's a time bomb for 50 years. He died in 2012.
Oh, he made it that long. Holy shit.
Faced with their toughest stranger yet, particularly since this one not only never calls, but actively disables phones to prevent calling of any kind, will this motley crew be able to solve the mystery and save Julie, and in the process vindicate Jill, while also not worrying about the fact that we never know what happened to the kids from the beginning, or know how prolific this killer really is outside of his obsession with Julie, in order to prevail when a stranger calls back.
Mm-hmm. Does this guy strike you as the kind of guy who's going to take kids?
No, that's insanity.
Yeah. I mean, we don't know what his deal is.
He couldn't have done it.
No.
She's in the house.
Yeah.
You can't remove two children silently,
No.
put them somewhere, and come back, or have them somewhere and then leave with them after you flee immediately because you're about to be caught, and it makes no sense.
And he doesn't seem like he has any ill will towards children.
Did you watch the first one yet?
No, I didn't.
We should watch that.
Yeah.
Should that be one of these?
Fuck it. We'll do the remake too.
No, that's supposed to be so bad.
So the movie starts, right? And Julie, she shows up to this house because they want her to babysit.
The kids are asleep already? Do you remember where their room is?
I'll find it.
How do I look?
You look late.
I was so confused about like her age and her acting ability.
Bye-bye.
She feels like she's like in reality like 20 something.
Yeah, and then
But she's meant to
eventually
be
I was
maybe
like,
15 or something.
yeah. That sounds correct.
Yeah.
She acts like really young. Like she's
she acts super awkward. Yeah.
I'm just like a teenage girl.
So she's like, the parents are like, yeah, the kids are already asleep. It's a boy and a girl. And we are just going out to do something.
Play cards?
Yeah. And, we'll be back by like 11:30. I think it's like 9 or 9:30. And the doctor's just like, honey, we're late. So they leave. And she just starts reading or whatever. And the phone rings.
Hello? Hello?
And there's like no breathing, no nothing. It's just nothing. There's none of that. It's not in there.
Morgan.
And since there's absolutely nobody there, what does she do? I think you have the wrong number. Nothing. You definitely have the wrong number. They probably inadvertently are called and then hung up.
You're ruining their masturbating.
Yeah,
You're not supposed to do that. Be scared and angry.
It's fucking
Don't
annoying.
try to be helpful.
Did I have notes? I thought
That's
maybe I had
probably
notes.
why he decided to do all this, because she stopped his
I do have notes.
orgasm.
There's nobody on the phone. She goes, okay, that's weird. And then the phone doesn't ring again, even though it looks like it might. And all of a sudden there's a knock at the door. And she goes, yeah, what's up?
I was really scared when the knock happened.
She's super hesitant.
It's late at night. Nobody should be knocking on that door. I was scared.
Yeah.
This movie, I was scared right away.
And who's there? Hey, I'm just a guy.
Hi, You don't know me. My car's broken down, and, I was wondering if I could come in and use the phone.
Who do you want to call?
The Auto Club. I'm a member. They'll send someone out to help me. It'll only take a minute. Just to come in and make one call. I won't bother you again.
I'll call them for you.
I can do it. I don't want to put you through any trouble. You can trust me.
Please just let me come in. I don't want to put you through the trouble of writing things down. Let me, a stranger, into your home.
Yeah, no, it's totally fine.
I'm the one that called earlier.
And she goes, oh, I'll do it. And she takes on all the information. And she goes over, right? She doesn't know the phone's dead yet, right?
No.
And she picks up the phone to make the call, and it's dead.
Mm-hmm.
Doing that
I
thing.
was scared. I kept thinking he was going to come in that door right behind her.
They keep showing the window, the bush brushing against it.
Is he out there?
And there's nothing on the phone. Now, at this point, what would you do?
I mean, honestly, knives.
Well,
go get some knives from that knife block we saw earlier.
I guess what I'm alluding to
I would be
is-
up with the kids with my knives.
That's very good. That's good. I'm glad you said
barricade.
that, because I would as well.
Yeah.
Specifically later.
Put the bed in front of the door.
But
have your knives.
What she ends up doing is just going back and going, oh, yeah, I called them, and they said they'd be out in an hour.
An hour? They always say they'll come within 30 minutes. What's going on?
Instead of just going, I couldn't reach them.
Well, because she's scared to reveal that the phone doesn't work. And they'd be like, I know
Well, you
I
don't
caught
have
it.
to. Just be like, I called and it was busy. I did what I could. Fuck off. Because you didn't call. So, of course, they're not going to show up. And let's just say this guy is legit.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's out there.
I mean, there's a pretty good moment coming up where it's like, oh my, fuck, this guy might be legit.
Yeah. And
So
so,
scary.
he vamooses, and she looks out the window and she sees him, shadow figure, walking away. She goes back to playing her Tetris or whatever she's doing. And knock on the door again.
It's really scary every time the knock happens. Are you scared?
Well, yeah, because they don't even try to show you his figure through one of the many panes of glass.
That's why this is wonderful. You
You-
don't
you-
see him.
no.
It's just a frightening force and a fear that
It's
he's coming in at some point.
and the voice is almost too calm and friendly.
Yeah.
Right? It's creepy. But at the same time, maybe he's just trying to not present himself as a weirdo because he legitimately needs help.
Does he give her his real name? I never double checked. Because he steals that sheet of paper that had all of his information on it. So I was
Yeah, I
wondering
guess
if
I
that was
don't
actually
know.
him.
I don't know. But he's like, hey, they didn't come. You know, what's going on? She goes, oh, I don't know. Maybe they're busy. Well, could you just call them again, please? She goes, yeah, okay. And she goes over and she starts pantomiming. Hey, where are you guys? Oh, you took the 5 to the 101?
Just take Manzanita down to Olympic, make a ride over by the Vons Pavilions, take that all the way down to Robertson.
And she goes, yeah, I don't know. They're really busy, man. Like, I don't care. I'm watching TikTok. And he goes, all right. Hey, can't you go, like, bother anybody else?
No,
No, nobody's home on your street.
it's only you and me on the street.
And apparently it's just one street. There's no,
Can't go to the next one over. Next one over.
yeah, a store or something.
Ah, maybe if it's based on a story from the 50s, maybe it is just a street. They
Maybe.
haven't filled it in yet.
And he goes, all right, look, can you just call my wife and, like, tell her not to worry because I'm, like, vanished? And she goes, I don't see your car. He goes, yeah, it's around the block. I did actually say that.
Mm-hmm.
So she goes, all right, fine. And then she goes over to call the wife, and then she grabs the notepad, and whoosh, that fucking page is gone. Now, what would you do at this point?
I mean, I'm still already upstairs with the knife.
This is specifically where you need to get that knife
Yeah.
and go up to those children, check under their beds, make sure the closet's clean,
Mm-hmm.
barricade that fucking door, and you either just sit there and wait or wake them up and you say, listen, shit, somebody's in the house. Don't be afraid, but we might need to,
Don't be afraid.
you know, get out of here.
I brought you each a small knife.
Mm-hmm.
We need to kill the people that come in.
She doesn't do that, though.
There was other situations, though, that tipped her off. This is bad. Wasn't before this when she was making the tea, turned off the flame to make the tea, but then later on it's howling at her. He
Yes.
turned it back on.
And it's a weird sounding tea kettle.
Yeah, I don't know why it sounds
It's like,
This is real odd. And then also that the sliding glass door is
Oh!
open. The phone number for the parents is gone.
as soon
from
as
the
she
fridge.
as soon as she sees the doors open, she turns and the phone number's gone. So clearly the page is missing. So the page is missing. She tells him to bug her off, and then she starts going around the house making sure all the windows and doors and shit are locked. They keep saying the window right by there is open 6 to 8 inches.
I think later it is.
They say it is.
I think towards the very last chunk, the final scene of this area, I think that window's open.
Okay. So the page is missing. If the window isn't open at this point, or even if it is, clearly somebody's in the house.
I don't know why you would hang out down there. At one point, she's upstairs and she's frightened.
Yeah.
I just don't know why
As
you would
soon
want to
as
be in the
that-
big open area with all the doors.
As soon as that paper's missing, you know somebody's in the house.
Yeah.
She just runs around locking everything, goes to the front door, double bolts it and all that shit. It's like,
Just think about the bedroom as a small house.
Yeah.
The rest of the place is corrupted and done for. Go have your small home that you can control.
Yeah.
It's one room with a barricaded door
yes.
and
And the children are with you.
3 people with 5 knives.
Exactly. And so the guy knocks on the door again. She goes, "Good Lord, what the fuck?"
And he says some really scary shit.
Listen to me very carefully. You don't live here, do you? You're just a babysitter. Have you been upstairs in the last 5 minutes?
Why?
I don't think you're alone in this house. Someone's upstairs. I've seen them moving around through the windows. You should get out of there. Now.
This is super scary because this is also like the urban legend of the person chasing you in their car and flicking their high beams at you, and you think that they're the bad guy, but then eventually you find out there's a killer with a knife in the back seat, and they duck down every time the high beams get flicked on them.
Well, and here's the weird part, because it is at this point that he's actually now casting a shadow on the wall behind her through the door, the window. You can see it's almost like a cartoon.
It's the coat, right? The coat that we find on the ground later.
I guess.
Because he's in there.
Because he goes,
This is when he does the scary thing.
"You don't believe me? Look at the living room." She turns immediately and... She opens up the door, runs out into the doctor's arms. It's well lit out there. And so they're like 5 years later.
It was really scary.
Does she see the bed? She sees the beds are empty, right?
No.
Or does she not?
No.
Okay. So at this point, we don't know that the kids are missing then.
Right. Can you tell them, look at the camera and tell them how scary this is?
This is very scary.
It's super fucking
It's
scary.
super unnerving because
They're
even though
showing us nothing. It makes it so much scarier because you're just getting a frightening setup and not being attacked with stupid images.
yeah, and if you know the original, you're kind of expecting some sort of a swerve maybe, but it actually quite literally almost follows suit. But so then 5 years later, she's now got Joan Jett hair.
Worse than that, man.
Yeah. But it's a super mullet.
She's the gayest looking lady you ever seen.
Yeah.
It's 1993.
She's wearing mom jeans.
She's got the vest on.
Yeah.
She looks like she plays a guitar in a coffee shop about her friend from childhood who is not gay and she wants to be with her.
Yeah.
She wants her to come to her window.
Yeah.
Lay outside in the light of the moon.
Yeah.
Shit is crazy. It's the gayest look I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, it's, I mean, you know, It's not like alarming or anything.
No, it's fine. Well, it is. It's a terrible look.
It's weird just because it seems like clearly that's what they're going for. And later, when she mentions wanting a life and someone to share her life with, she doesn't specifically say, a husband or a wife or anything. So it's sort of like nebulous.
This is like a Kate McKinnon character from SNL too.
These clowns are pointing at my down their hair, and they're elbowing each other like, are you guys seeing this?
So she's in school now. In college,
Mm-hmm.
I guess. So she was maybe 16?
You said 15.
Or
think
14?
Fine.
14, 15?
Okay. Well, they don't. She's not a freshman. She's been there for a couple years.
Has she?
Yeah, I think it's like her second or third year or something like that. Yeah.
And she gets home one day and opens up her closet, and there's a little baby shirt in there.
Yeah.
She flips. She runs to the police.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to say, they weren't helpful.
Oh, yeah?
But it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to get.
Oh, the cops being
Yeah.
dicks?
Like, it seemed like once Carol Kane started talking, the one guy was like, oh, gosh.
Here's the thing with these cops. They are right, kind of, initially to be like, okay. As soon as she's like, but actually, these two kids were kidnapped and never found, and I was tormented, and this is one of their shirts that I found in my closet. They should be like, oh, fuck, he's back!
They go, all right, well, look, she's some wacko. Call the psychiatrist from the school or whatever.
But do not get Carol Kane over
Call
here.
Jill. Yeah, right.
Absolutely. I don't want Jill here either.
Jill shows up, and they're like cooperative with her.
Hey, I'm Jill. I'm here to help.
So I'm like, oh, what?
Like a Jill voice.
Mm-hmm. She got a lot of hair in here.
Hey.
What's happening?
Huh?
Well, this girl, she said these things are going on. I need to speak with her.
Now, I was brought in on this a little late, so I don't know what you've already told these gentlemen. So if you wouldn't mind repeating it for me from the beginning.
Well, it's been going on for a while now since them kids vanished. Presumably are dead. Which still doesn't make any sense.
I couldn't believe we made it through this whole movie and we never find out what happens to those kids.
Yeah, and it doesn't seem to be like it matters. I just got the impression that that guy would have nothing to do with any of that.
Right, and also later on it's almost implied like he kept them for a while.
I guess, yeah, because they never find them. So
Why would you do that?
I don't know. So he moves a book.
Kids
he
are hard.
Left a shirt.
You wouldn't want to keep them.
Yeah,
They're hard. You gotta love them.
he set her alarm, and then that's when Jill busts it down, and the cops are like, "Oh damn!" And she goes, "You're coming home with me now."
That's pretty good.
And she goes, "All right, word." And she goes, "Oh, this is a really great place." She goes, "Thank you."
I like wide open spaces.
Yeah, and I don't fuck around, and so they chill in there for a while. But she goes, "You know what? I gotta go back home." And she goes,
I keep a razor blade in my mouth.
"I called Charles Durning. He's
Right
gonna
here
help
in my
us."
cheek if I need it.
Yeah. And Charles comes in. "Hey, good to see you, Carol Kane.
You got any pie?
So she ends up going home, and she calls Carol Kane because Carol Kane said that she can call her anytime.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you noticed this, but they have the exact same phone. Like they only had one phone, so they put it at the Carol Kane set. It's the exact same phone. It's a weird phone too.
Dude, phones were crazy expensive in '93. You would have to go to like Walgreens, and they'd be like $9.99.
Mm-hmm. And so she wakes up, she goes, "Oh, Carol Kane, I thought I saw a face in the window."
I feel like Carol Kane would have one of those cool see-through phones.
Yeah, wouldn't she?
Remember those?
Yeah. Because then she could see if anybody's in there while she's talking. The phone is...
You gotta put it in front of your face to look through.
Well, no, that's how you normally talk. So if you're doing that,
That's
it's
true.
see-through.
Do you know back in before cell phones, you would hold the phone like this to talk into the speaker.
But to get reception, you'd have to keep moving it.
People could sneak up on you.
They could. It happen all the time.
Did you ever chew on your cordless phone's Ariel?
Of course.
Oh, sweet. Jenny acted like I was insane for that. Boy, I chewed them all up.
Did you wrap the pigtail cord around your finger?
My dick?
Oh.
I'm sure.
And she's like, "All right, secure the apartment." And she goes, "What? Yeah, go to every room and turn on the lights.
Yeah.
And then lock the door."
Make sure you poke the walls to make sure there's nobody hidden there.
And it's so stupid because she goes, I'm going to the kitchen. Nothing. I'm going to the bathroom. And then she stops talking.
For 10 minutes.
Julia? Julia? Julia?
Ah! And she goes, I'm back. Why the fuck did you stop talking?
The Queens of NC-17 were pissed with this movie because everybody has a J name. And they were doing what you were doing. So they said Carol Kane the whole time.
Yeah, because Jill and Julie Jens.
And her real name is Jill, right?
Jill Johnson?
Jill Sholin.
Yes, Jill Sholin. Yeah, Sholin. Sholin?
I think it's Sholin,
yeah. And so she starts volunteering at Carol Kane's outreach shelter. Carol Kane's showing self-defense. She had a really good line.
Become the gun.
You cannot say you don't believe in violence unless you can also say that you don't believe in living. I was like, oh, shit.
Carol Kane's like very direct in this movie. Not flat isn't quite the word, but like she means business.
She's no nonsense.
I like that.
There's a line briefly when she brings her home where she goes, you want me to call your parents to let them know what's going on? And Julie, she goes, no, they're divorced.
Yeah.
As if that you can't have separate phones.
No, they're too upset to talk.
They only get one phone when you're married, and when you're divorced, you get no phone.
Yeah.
So Carol Kane gets her a gun.
Yeah.
She goes, let's go shoot it.
That's baller, dude. That should be the thing that fixes everything.
She just starts ripping.
I mean, it's terrible that I'm like, a gun would solve all your problems, but a gun would solve all
It'd probably be good to have.
Yeah.
In this instance where somebody's doing this weird shit.
But always keep a razor blade tucked in your chook.
And so then, though, she's looking at the gun. Oh, no. She's at her breakfast table looking at the gun. Jill.
I don't like how she doesn't keep it
Julie.
Like on her body.
Yeah, she just has it like 16 feet away from her on the table.
She looks over at it.
It's like, why are you just leaving it on the table where if there were a bad guy, he could just...
Oh, man, sweet, a gun.
Oh, shit, a gun. I didn't
I'm
bring
gonna
one.
go in there and make it look like she shot herself in the head.
Yeah, and so that's exactly what happens. And she's in the hospital now. And...
Charles Durning and Carol Kane,
they don't know
I'm
where she
not
went.
falling into the trap.
Yeah.
They go to the house where the kids were abducted, and immediately Charles Durning's like,
oh my God, yes.
I think there was just one man.
Yes,
oh,
please.
Shit, you got this?
I do. Because he's got the woman who shows the house.
Mm-hmm.
She goes, you must have some pole around here because he got him in. And they're looking around, and he goes, 15 feet. You know, I don't think we're talking about two guys. Because he keeps saying that. Carol Kane's like, why do you think that? It's a feeling I have. And he goes up to the window and he turns around and he goes, this is going to sound crazy.
We're looking for a ventriloquist.
We're looking for a ventriloquist.
Well, first he says I think he's manipulating his voice.
Yes.
That's like, what?
Yeah, he's manipulating his voice.
Way to say it.
He opens up the window. I guess what I'm wondering is he saying that the guy's outside still, throwing his voice through the window?
After the initial moment, when she finds that back door open, he's in there. And that's it. He's in there for the rest of the time.
Yes. He's got... but he leaves the coat outside.
Maybe it's a red herring having the window open.
But he's still wearing the coat.
It might be two coats. How many coats you got? I got 19 coats.
Why leave the coat outside?
Maybe to cast that shadow we were talking about earlier.
Why even do that? So he goes, we got to find a ventrilo. Before that,
it's fucking Jeff Dunham. Jeff Dunham did it.
Before that, Charles Durning has a scene with Julie where she's like, I want a life.
Yeah.
I just want to run away. And his answers are so flat. It's almost like the script was different. They changed it and they just used his reactions because he goes,
I can't make that choice for you. I'm sorry.
After she goes, sometimes I just want to run away. And he's basically just like, suck it up. He's like, he doesn't give a fuck. And she's dead almost now, though. So Carol Kane goes to see her in the hospital, and this is spooky as AF.
You like it?
Because it's just her, for the most part, illuminated in complete darkness.
Jill Sholin is the one he's speaking of.
Yeah, Julie. You can see the bed a little bit, but really nothing else. And you hear this fucking loud-ass door. They got a shoulder thrust to get in. It's like, why did you use an old wooden door as your fucking hospital door?
So the fire can get through.
So the guy comes in, and he's the guy. And then he just sort of melts into the shadows.
When Carol Kane comes in.
And then the door opens, and Carol Kane comes in. Now, unfortunately, they decided to do an insert shot of Carol opening up the door. I really wish they would have just kept it, held it where he faded in. You hear the door because it's so fucking loud. I assume that's why they did it.
Mm-hmm.
So that you know the door is opening and closing whenever. And I wish Carol would have just walked right in. And the guy's just there. She has absolutely no fucking idea. And she's like, Julie, we're going to find this asshole and we're going to fucking plug him. Pump him full of lead.
Mm-hmm.
A hot lead injection.
Bullets aren't really made with lead, though, are they?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
And so she leaves.
Are they?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
No fucking idea.
I
They
think
used to be.
They used to be. You got 2 minutes.
The dude, all of a sudden, after Carol Kane leaves, he's like, "Are you really in a coma?" He's slapping her. Starts punching her in her fucking gut. Apparently takes nude pictures of her. Right? Does he do that too? And so Charles Durning goes to see him at the club. He just misses him, but this is weird.
You like this movie too much to engage with my nonsense?
It's well, we got a minute and 55 seconds. It's a strip club.
Yeah.
And there's fake titties out, and I love it.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, like, they make a big production about these three older white men in tuxedos with a champagne bottle, an older white lady in a gown, making their way into this dingy-ass strip club. And there's some college boys over there fratting off. And all of a sudden, and next up, this asshole. And the guy comes out. In all black. And
it's awful.
He does his doll. What do I look like? And it's faceless.
I looked in the mirror this morning, and this is what I saw.
He's talking shit about the woman. He's talking shit about the frat boys, and the bar guy just starts wrangling him. "You fucking asshole, get the hell out of here." And he throws him in the bathroom.
Need money? Need money? You can lick the stinking toilets clean. There's your goddamn plumber. Jesus.
Toilet's over here.
It's right here. It hasn't flushed in 3 days. And he's just on the ground.
So it's just like full of stripper shits?
And all of a sudden, like the most doe-eyed, innocent stripper.
I like Dract.
She's really cute.
I loved her.
I thought she was really cute.
She's my wife now.
I probably shouldn't talk about stripper shits. They're people shits.
And he gives her the doll. And he goes, "Nothing in life is an act." And then all of a sudden the guy bursts back in and he goes, "You know what? Get the fuck out." Completely oblivious to anything that just folded. So it's not like he's offended, and he throws him out into the rain. And Charles shows up and he's like, "Have you seen this asshole?" And she goes, "Yeah, he just got deuced outside." And he goes out and he sees him walking down the alley.
I want to talk to you.
"I want to hire you." The guy runs away.
He's certainly seen Charles Durning with Jill, right?
Oh, absolutely. I'm sure at this point he's following her.
Yeah.
He runs away. He hides in the shadows. He closes his eyes. Charles Durning is like, "Oh, I don't know."
I thought Charles Durning was going to die.
Because he told Carol Kane that he was pretty sure maybe Julie did just shoot herself.
This guy's a bitch, though, right?
And nothing's going on. The ventriloquist?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a total cuck.
Like, that guy is throwing him around. Like, the only time he's powerful is when he's, like, tormenting people.
Woman, yeah.
But if you catch him in the daylight, he's 100% bitch.
And it also seems like he's only, like, tough shit with Carol Kane. Because for some reason he's, like, super angry at her. Because, I mean, I don't know. It didn't seem like he was intending to actually kill Julie.
Well,
because he gave her so much of a chance to run away.
Yeah.
And then he had already taken the kids, apparently.
When Charles Durning goes to his apartment and talks to that lady, she says that it's a real sad situation. He came here after his kids died, and he's trying to find the mom to let her know what happened.
Right.
So it almost seems like he's got a weird imaginary relationship with Jill Scholl and Julie Jens.
Maybe, but it also feels like he wouldn't divulge any of that to that woman. And then, so anyways, he ends up just breaking into his apartment and, dumps out a wastebasket, and it's got like all of the evidence in it. The handkerchief he took from Julie's hand that Jill gave to her, he just throws it in the garbage. And all of these Polaroids of
her in the hospital bed.
Yeah, and her tits and shit. Just throws it in the garbage.
I wasn't expecting to I was really quite surprised that it's like, yeah, you lift up her shirt and Polaroided her tits. Is this how you work a Polaroid camera?
Yeah. I also thought that the woman thought that he had left, but in fact he's just always like against the wall. So I thought he was going to come out on Charles.
Yeah.
When he's got all this juicy evidence.
That's fair. And Charles finds the makeup. I thought there would be evidence of like the kids.
Something.
But it's very specifically the only
just
evidence
Jill.
is Jill right now.
Right.
Not Jill over the years.
Yeah. So it's almost like, what did he do with the kids? Why would he have taken them?
It's really scary.
He doesn't strike me as the kind of guy. I don't know. I feel like the kids could maybe just get away from him. He's like a waif.
I don't know.
Except for when he's not. And there's those little undies.
Fucking thong.
Yeah. Odd choice, right?
I could not believe. I was like, he's in a thong.
Like he's got clothes stashed somewhere? Because he's got to leave eventually.
That's a good point.
Maybe he puts on her clothes. So Charles Durning is like, yeah, he's coming for you, Carol Kane, but he can't get a hold of her.
What was it? Yeah, because the last couple photographs were of the inside of Carol Kane's apartment and the brick wall with the weird design.
Yeah, maybe a shadow, but also maybe a
No.
painting?
It's like, I don't know what the thing is, but there's that
pipe?
black strip that goes like
Yeah,
that.
I don't know what it is either.
He's focused in on that.
So he calls and the operator goes, sorry, Charles, I can't get through. Maybe the line's busy. Maybe it's been cut. I don't know.
Maybe there's a guy that's scary there.
So instead of going, okay, can you transfer me to the police so I can call them and get somebody over there before I get there?
Because I might have a heart attack between here and there, a stroke. I'm 300 pounds.
He just hangs up and waddles off.
I look out of breath.
So now Carol Kane's at home. Oh, she's at the store before this, and she walks past. She's picking soap, cereal, and just walks past the vodka shelf.
Oh, man, that looks pretty good.
Nah, you better not. And then she gets a produce object and goes back to her cart. There's a vodka bottle in her cart.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, hey, Jill.
Jill. He's got such a weak-ass voice, too. He doesn't say, Jill.
Hey, Jill.
Hello, Jill.
Where are you? And she runs down the aisles and runs outside, and then it's like a super far away shot. And then she gets home, and she sees that there's a milk carton out on her table. Is it the milk carton from the kids from Julie or from the original movie?
No, it's the kids it's from Julie's kidnapping 5 years ago.
So he kept the milk carton, or they still looking for him?
No, he kept it. This is funny. He clearly opened it up, rinsed it out so it's not rancid, and then placed it there.
There you go. Signed it. Mm-hmm. And she goes, oh no. And she grabs her gun.
Yeah.
And the lights, she goes to the phone to call, and there's nothing.
Then she goes to that front
door.
door.
And then the lights go out. And then she grabs her gun, chick, and then she goes to the front door, and it's nailed shut somehow.
I mean, she just came in, so I don't know how that could be.
Yeah, I'm like, maybe he put super glue on it.
You know what? No, super glue takes longer to bond. It's not the door, it's him. He's just standing really still.
He's dressed like the door.
Yep.
I see. And she's grabbing his boner.
Mm-hmm.
This doorknob's weird.
And he's like,
it's leaking.
I found out the number one thing I like.
This is awesome. Yeah, I'm going to have glorioles from now on. And so he starts talking. Yo, girl, you know, you want the real deal?
Jill.
And she's an idiot. She, of all people, should know. Find a corner and just be in it.
Get in a different room.
Get something behind you that you know you can't come up upon from.
Yeah, stop. You know that he can throw his voice.
Yeah.
Don't move towards the voice.
And she's just walking around. Well, you know. And this is where it kind of falls apart. But all of a sudden, she walks past the wall, and the eyes open. Because he isn't just painting himself; he's actually using textures.
Mm-hmm.
It's so crazy.
It's crazy. It's amazing,
and it looks good.
You think this
CG back then? This is like real.
This is like the Gautier video.
Yeah,
somebody I used to know, except for amazing.
Yes,
because in theory, you think this is the dumbest thing you've ever heard. You're like, somebody would notice him, and then you get to this brick wall shit, and you're like, no.
Because there's plenty of like that wall corner over there. It's like you never think about it, and it's the darkest one in the room. So he probably could tell, but maybe not. When I was 14, man, I kid you not, I got up, I grabbed my bat, I just started going around.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, this is freaking me. I think I was maybe stoned.
Yeah.
I was like, this is freaking me out, man.
Were you watching this with Gabe?
No, I was watching it alone.
Man, we never talked about.
I saw it with Gabe.
How important this movie was to you.
Gabe just watched it not too long ago, actually. I mean, honestly, talking about it now is pretty dumb, but at the time, I'm like, this is effective, and it's actually kind of well made.
I think this is an amazing movie, bro.
It's like got a weird, slight Carpenter kind of vibe for me to it somehow, and yeah, it works. And I like that they brought back Charles Durning, and he's like her, you know, she probably hires him to go break down doors. And
what have you been doing in the last 14 years, Charles Durning? Sandwiches.
Sammy's, we call them.
Okay, wait, so at the point where you think the movie's getting stupid now.
Yeah, and so they wrestle, and he's trying to gouge her eyes.
Well, she kicked the fuck out of him.
She did.
She
did a
kicked him in the
kick.
fucking head. Her self-defense training really paid off. In fact, I'm really quite disappointed she didn't just destroy this man.
But I think she went for the gun or something and left herself open, and he tackled her.
Yeah.
And he was trying to thumb her eyes in.
It's dark, Jill.
Yeah, he keeps saying that.
It's really scary when he
that's
tries
what was
to
written
thumb
in
her
her
eyes.
Julie's journal.
Julie Jens?
It's dark. I can't hear anything.
Yeah. Jill, where are you?
And she goes, nah, you know what? Boom. Gets up.
Where's the gun?
And then it's super weird because he immediately runs over Carol Kane to him, and he starts checking on him.
I mean, that's the right thing to do, though. He's
Absolutely
making sure that motherfucker's
but,
dead.
You know, maybe at least acknowledge her. Jill, are you okay?
Jill, I gotta make sure this motherfucker's dead.
You grab her like this, and you grab him. Is he dead? And then you also get the weapon.
I'm just gonna go ahead and slip this gun underneath his chin.
And then it cuts to the future, and we hear Jill. Jill. And now it's Charles Durning, and she wakes up. How you feeling?
They were going to give you a private room. I just figured you'd get better and faster if you had somebody to talk to. Julia?
And they just look at each other and the movie ends. Yeah, so this movie, man, I watched it a couple of times in my formative years.
This is my first time.
And watching it now, I'm actually, like I said at the time, maybe I was just super into it. The intro is actually, the opening is actually quite effective.
I think that beginning might be the best part of the movie, but I actually really like this all the way through.
Yeah, the problem is that I'd like to see the original to see how they sustain that for a full movie, but it doesn't feel like something that you really should be able to. It kind of just needs to end. It almost feels like Scream, where like that opening is just like a mini
Sydney
movie, and then the other.
Did you think you thought he was here?
I did.
Yeah.
And then the other movie is the rest of the movie. That's what this kind of felt like, except it was woven into that. I don't know, man. I liked it.
fucking great movie.
Yeah.
You should watch this. This is real good.
I would suggest, you watch it.
I was legitimately freaked the fuck out.
Mm-hmm.
It was last night.
Mm-hmm. And I like that what little time you spend with the bad guy, it's just enough. It's almost sympathetic, but it's also all just very weird.
Yeah, 5 more minutes and you'd be like, yeah, these bitches deserve it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, he's a real weird, sad, pathetic. What the fuck is that's his job? That's not his job. You can't be a ventriloquist. He's a scary one.
Yeah.
He's a disturbing one.
Because Charles Durning, when he's talking to the talent agent, she's like, nobody does that shit anymore.
No.
Go down to the tit bars if you want to find that garbage. So it's not like it could even be a lucrative thing. And after you get thrown out of one club, that's probably it. Plus, he gave his puppet away.
Jeff Dunham was probably on the rise.
Did he give you any spook?
No, man. This is honestly, it's like it's a 9 on the spookometer.
It's one of the spookier things we've watched.
It fucked me up. It took 3 years and it fucked me up.
It was
I like the zombie movie a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I was scared. But this movie fucked me up.
Yeah, it's on par. Maybe not as good as the camera phone desert scene from Lake Mungo, where the girl runs.
This is more sustained, though.
That's what I mean. That gave me like a real solid spooky feeling, but there hasn't been a lot of that for me. And this, even though I'd seen it before, and it's kind of a trashy movie, it manages to deliver.
I got mad respect for this movie.
That opening scene is dope. The hospital scene is dope. Seeing him in action is actually kind of dope too. And then you see him in his little undies.
That thong. This movie plays with anticipation a lot, where you think something's going to happen, and it doesn't.
You're kind of also like wondering, like, I wonder how many times he's the wall.
I know. The whole time I was like, is he in her apartment right now? And she has no idea.
Yeah.
Is he in there when she's looking around?
Yeah.
Because when he's opening her window, that means he is in there.
Yes.
He has been in there. She's like, I got 3 locks. I'm on the 3rd floor. I thought I saw his face in the window. I don't think you saw his face in the window. I think you saw his reflection. He's in the apartment.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. Like a car went by, although she's on the 3rd floor. And it illuminated his face.
One of those Back to the Future cars.
Yeah. Solid. On a spookometer, you gave it a 9?
I do.
I'll give it a 9 too.
Hell yeah. What do you give it as a movie?
I'm gonna give it a 7.
Yeah, I give it a 7 too, man. I think this is a solid movie. I don't have a problem with the TV movie elements. I think it's structurally sound. People on the internet are like, the middle part is underwhelming. It's like, what the fuck do you want? That's part of the movie.
Yeah, it's actually structured really well.
It's got an amazing opening and amazing ending, and the middle part isn't boring. It's just people doing the work to find out what's going on.
You have to, and there has to be a transition period from Julie to Jill.
This is a good movie.
Yeah.
Woo.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Okay. Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween. He's got his shirt on.
Werewolf Ambulance. More imaginary friends that don't know me, but I listen to their podcast all the time. I like it.
Nah. Right around the corner. Yeah, it's over there. Right there. That's what my shirt says.
Yeah. Why don't you do it like you do in the podcast?
No. Around the corner. No. Down there. Yeah. Go in there. I don't know. It's been so long.
It's been a long time. Okay. Head on to our Instagram. Find our link tree to all of our links.
Yeah. We doing filmographies on the Insta.
Yep.
Link tree on the link tree.
You email us on the email. We do filmographies@gmail.com.
You can text us or call and leave a voice message on our hotline.
763
634
together
1897.
I'm trying to hold the numbers.
Thinner. And you can rate us on Apple Podcasts, and then you can suggest a film that we'll watch. And you can also go to the nowplayingnetwork.net and look up the Directors Club for all of your Halloween movies.
With Jim L. You can get away with not fucking up the last name.
Lankowski.
I don't think that's it.
All right.
All right, I'm drunk. We still have to record another one.
Yep, he's Jason.
This guy, Julian.
We did it.
Drink the fat. We'll see you. I don't know how this works. Bye.